Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Khoi.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Good evening.
Evening. How are you?
I'm good. What about you?
I'm good too.
Okay. What did you do for the whole day?
Just as usual days, I learn English. I met my friends, and I play sport with them.
Okay. And then what about just this day? What did you do?
So as says, I learn English. I learn how to write things, and I learn to how paraphrase the vocabulary, my grammatical structures, and
Okay.
realize I play sport. I have played sport with my friend and have fun with them.
Okay. So that means that you are still having an English teacher teaching you aside from me?
Yes, another.
Oh, really? Okay. So it's nice to hear that. Okay. Okay. So anyway, so we're going to continue our lesson, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to present the presentation. Okay, I hope you can see the presentation, Koi. Can you see it?
I see.
Yeah. Okay. Now, so we are now on reading two. So what we're going to do is,
Read statement 1 to 7 below and
okay, so we are going to read the statements from 1 up to 7. Okay? And we have to remember, find.
words, find the words or phrases in italics in the
Okay.
passage.
Yeah, so italics in the passage. Okay, so that means, so we are going to find in here words or phrases that is written in italics. Like, for example, at that time. So this one was written italics, right?
Yes.
What else? What about number two? What
Tahiti,
Tahiti, okay? Then what about statement number three?
compass charts,
Yes, so compass and charts. What about number four?
grandfather,
Grandfather. What about number five?
stones,
Okay, stones. What about number six?
inhabitants.
Inhabitants. The number seven,
His student,
students. Aside from the students, do we have another one?
position of the stars.
Yes, so students and then positions of the stars. And after that, okay, you were able to find the words or phrases that are was written in italics, right? So you were
Yes.
able to find that. Then after that,
Decide if the statement are true or not given.
yes, so you have to decide whether the statements are true,
Of
false,
or
or
not
not
given.
given now. We have to remember. So this one is very important because this one is exam advice. In answering true, false, or not given statements, we have to remember to,
Two, three, four, what?
okay, to find.
To find words or phrases in the past which are the same as or similar to words or and phrases in the statement.
Yes, okay, just what I have told you during the last time that we had able to have our lesson, that sometimes in a given statements, in a given passage, it's not usually the same, okay? That it was written in there, okay? Sometimes it's the other way around, okay? Or the opposite of that. Okay? So all
Okay.
we need to understand would be the words or phrases in the passage which are the same. Or, again, the same, or it's the opposite, or we call this one the similar words. Okay? And phrases in the statements. But actually, it's not the exact. Okay? It's not the exact word. So we just have to remember same or similar words. Okay?
Okay.
And then the second one is
Too true if the question say the same as the passive.
yes. So you just have to choose true if the question says the same as the passage. Okay? You have to find the keywords first, just like for example, the one that we are looking in here, which is the words or phrases that is written in italics. Sometimes it was written in bold. Okay? Sometimes it is written or underlined. Okay? So those italics, those written in bold, and those words or phrases that are or were underlined would be the very important keywords. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. And then,
True false if the question says something which is the opposite of information in the passage.
yes. Okay. So if the opposite, so that would be false. Okay. Next. And then,
True not given if you cannot find anything in the passage about the information in the question.
yes. So you have to choose not given if you cannot find anything in the passage. Okay. Just like what we did last time. So you were able to identify there the statements which are true and the statements which are false and the statements which are not given. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Now, let's try to do this exercise now. Koi. I hope you can still remember the passage. It's all about Mao Yalog, the ocean navigator. Okay? Okay, question number one. Can you read the question number one?
Question at the
Yes. Or statement number one.
statement at the time of his voyage, Mao had unique navigational skills,
Okay. Can you say unique?
unique.
Yes. Okay, so at the time of the voyage, Mao had unique navigational skills. What do you think is this? Is this statement is true, false, or not given?
Is true
Why is it true?
because the passage mentioned that he has navigational skill by memorizing the position of the star.
Yes. So he has unique navigational skills. Even though he doesn't use a navigational
Equipment.
equipment, but still he can be able to navigate.
Yes.
Okay, even without those. So this one is true statement. Next, what about number two?
More was familiar with the sea around Tahiti.
Yes.
Is
So what do you think is that?
I think it's not given
Why it's not given?
because the passage don't mention it.
Okay, let's try to go back, huh? Let's try to make it sure, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So where is that word Tahiti? Look at this one. Led an expedition in which he sailed a traditional Polynesian boat across 2,500 miles of ocean from Hawaii to Tahiti. So the Polynesian Voyaging Society had organized the expedition. So its purpose was to find out if the seafarers in the distant past have found their way from one island to another or to other without navigational instruments, or whether the islands had been populated by accident. At that time, Mao was the only alive who knew how to navigate just by observing the stars, the wind, and the sea. Okay, so it was mentioned in here that he was able to, okay, however, before sailed to Tahiti, which was a long way to the south, he understood how the wind and the sea behave around the islands. So he was confident he could find his way. So, what do you think? It was mentioned in there that he was able to. he was familiar with the sea around Tahiti.
Is true.
True. Okay, it's true because he was able to familiarize first. Okay, before the expedition started. Okay, together with the team, the Polynesian team, right? The expedition, they have to do the what? The what do you want? They were going to familiarize first the place. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so it's true. Number three. Can you
Most
read
thought
statement?
it would be difficult to use compass and charts.
Okay, Mao thought it was be difficult to use a compass and charts.
It's not given.
Not given. Actually, it was not mentioned in there. Okay. Next, what about number four?
My grandfather was his only teacher. His phone
Okay, why?
are not given.
Not given. It was not mentioned in the passage. Okay, that it was mentioned about his grandfather, right? Next,
Yes.
what about number five?
Men use men used stone to learn where each star was situated in the sky.
So Mao used stones to learn where each star was situated in the sky.
It's true.
Okay, why is it true? It was mentioned in there that he used stones in
It's
order to look at the star which was situated in the sky.
can you rewrite the passage?
Can I?
Can I turn the passage?
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, again, what would be the keywords in here that we need to stones, right?
Stone.
Okay, so we need to look at find for the stone in here.
Yes, that's it.
Okay, so where is it? So later, Mao used a circle of stones to memorize the positions of the stars. So each stone
Would
was
like
laid out in the sand to
to set
represent a star. So is this correct that Mao used stones to learn where each star was situated in the sky?
is true.
Okay. Because it was mentioned in the passage that he was able to use a stones in order to memorize the positions of the
Star.
stars. Okay, next. Number six.
Um, the first inhabitants of Hawaii could read and write.
Okay, so the first inhabitants of Hawaii could read and write.
Is false.
Are you asking me or that would be your answer?
I think it's phone.
Why? Okay, let's go back.
Uh,
Okay.
maybe not mentioned.
It was mentioned in there the first inhabitants of Hawaii could read and write.
It's not mentioned. I think.
So, okay. So it was not mentioned in there. Okay. So not given. Okay. Next. Number seven.
Mao expected his students to memorize the position of the star.
Okay. So did Mao expected his students to memorize the positions of the stars?
Is true.
Okay, it's true. Okay, so again, so this is how we are going to answer the statements true, false, or not given. Now, all you need to do, Koi, is to look at the words or find the words and phrases that are written in italics. Sometimes not only just italics, but sometimes it's bold letters and sometimes the words had been underlined. Okay?
Okay.
Because those words that was written or were written in italics, underlined, and bold are all keywords or important keywords. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Do you have questions with this?
No question.
Okay, let's move on. to reading, continuation of reading too. So read and answer the questions. Okay, can you read the question number one?
What traditional skill and knowledge do people in your family have?
Okay, now look at this question, Koi. Okay, this particular question is not all about the passage.
Yes.
Okay, so this means that you are going to tell something about this particular question. That means it needs your own ideas. Okay,
Okay.
aside from your own ideas, of course, maybe out from your experience or out from the observations that you had made. Okay, and again, this particular questions 1 and 2, what? There would be no wrong or there would be no wrong answers in here because all answers must be correct, but your points or scores depends on how you supported your answers. Okay, again, let's try to remember in answering, in speaking activity, what are you going to do? Okay, in answering the questions, you need to what?
Speaking
Okay, speak
an idea.
your ideas. Okay, speak for your ideas, and then you need to expound that one by explaining a little bit about the keywords that you had mentioned. Again, it's not that long, so you just have to limit your answers. Okay, not too long, but not too short. Okay, and you have to remember that it's very important to summarize, okay, and put only the most important words. Did you understand? So
Understand.
that your answers would be complete. Okay? Now
Okay.
let's try to analyze the questions first. What traditional skills and knowledge do people in your family have? Now, what are the things that we should have to understand in here? What do you think would be the most important keywords that we should have to understand in question number one?
Traditional skill and knowledge.
Yes, so traditional skills and knowledge do people. Again, we are talking about
People.
people. So meaning it's not just only one person, but it's more than one. It's a group of persons, people in your, again,
Okay.
is it people outside your family or people within your family? Is it within or outside your family?
Is family.
Okay, within your family. So you have to remember that. Okay, again, there would be connections. Explain what are the traditional skills and knowledge that the people, the members of your family have, but not other people, but it's your own family.
Mm.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to give you time for you to think of that before answering that. Okay. I want your no, this one, your speaking. Okay, I want you to answer this one through speaking, and I want you to answer this one also through writing. So let's combine the two. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, if you want to write that first, you may, and then after that have to speak. Okay, tell me your answer. Again, writing is different from speaking. Sometimes you're very good when it comes to writing, but when it comes to speaking, sometimes you will forget or forget something, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we have to combine the two, huh? Writing and then speaking. So let's do first the first one.
Can you make an example?
Another techniques, okay? Put in your mind what are those traditional skills. When we say traditional skills, you your family, okay, are doing that for the longest time. That means it's not the present one. It's during the time of your maybe your forefathers, okay, your grandfather's grandfather, okay? So that would be traditional. So that's tradition already. Okay? And then aside from that, the skills and knowledge. Let's say, for example, weaving. Okay? So they're making this one. So this one is a traditional skills that the family or group of people within the family are doing long time ago, not currently, okay?
Yeah.
But of course, this particular tradition is also or we can say that still it's also well, there's one, it's also happening at the moment, especially those who are living in remote areas like in the mountains, right? But in the city, of course, we're not doing this one anymore. Okay? So you have
Okay.
to remember that. So that would be traditional skills. Aside from that, one of the examples also would be um, fishing, right? So before, what are the means of fishing? So they're just using a net, okay, in catching fishes, right?
Okay.
Okay, so that's also tradition. So traditional way of fishing. What else? We do have a lot. Okay, we do have a lot of traditions, traditional skills and knowledge. That
Cultivation.
again.
Cultivation.
Okay, cultivation of what?
Um, water
Right.
rice.
Okay,
Rice.
cultivation. Okay, land cultivation. Because before, our ancestors, how do they cultivate their land? They're just using what?
The tools.
Okay, they're just using tools, okay, in cultivating their land. But now, comparing now, what we are using now, it's all about machines, right? In cultivating our land, as of today, we are using machines. But before, in cultivating the land, and that would be a traditional skills and knowledge that people are doing within the group of the family, right? Why? Because if a certain, let's say for example, if the father uh, does, okay, the cultivation, the traditional cultivation of the land, it will pass on to the next generation, which is to his son. Okay, if he has a son, right? And then that particular son once married, okay, and got a child, got a son also, so he will going to transfer that one also to the next generation. So that traditional skills has been transferred to generations from or generations to generations. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
Okay. Okay, until of course nowadays it was already gone. Okay, but there are also few people who are doing that one. There are also few families, especially those who are living in the mountain province, that still they're doing that kind of tradition, right? Okay, so
Okay.
that would be an example, Koi. Okay, so this is your time. Maybe you have to write that first before saying it, okay? So I'm going to give you time to do that. Okay, you can type first and then let me see how you are going to speak using the one that you wrote.
Can you make an example?
Okay, example. Do I have to write it or do I have to say it?
I think yes, speaking.
Okay, I have to say it. Okay.
Yes.
So one of the best or one of the traditional skills and knowledge that our family, okay, are having, okay, a long time ago was, let's say for example, when we are what is one? Cooking, right? So in cooking before, our family do cooking through the use of firewood, right? But of course, this time it's the use of LPG, right? So what do you mean by LPG?
Electric.
Liquid, okay, liquefied petroleum gas. So
Oh,
that's LPG, huh? So that would be at the present. But of course, we're not going to mention at the present because we are just what? We are just going to mention the traditions or traditional skills and knowledge before that our family is doing. Okay, so therefore, I should say one of the traditional skills and knowledge that our ancestors, okay, did long time ago, okay, was the way of cooking because we cook with the use of firewood. Okay, and that's it.
oh
So
wow.
one of the traditional skills, but maybe if you can add more, it's good to add more. Okay? Okay. Now, before you have to answer that, let's try to find first what are traditional skills and knowledge before. Okay, cultivating land. That's correct, huh? You're correct. Okay, the way they cook, cooking. Okay, weaving. That's also the third one. What else? Okay, the way they make their houses, right? Because
Yes.
they are just making houses with the use of leaves, right? Woods and leaves. Okay, Be- because if we try to compare the people's lives today, we can say that it's more advanced today compared during those days, right? Okay, what else? The way they catch or they fish, right? Okay, that's five. What else? The way they dress, right? Right, Koi? So the way they dress, it's different. Okay, long time ago. And then what else? The way they celebrate special occasions.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so those are also traditional skills and knowledge. Okay, so they have the so-called their own ways on how to celebrate celebrations before, not unlike at the present time, right? Okay, so we have seven already. Oh, so you can make use of that. Okay? Is it hard to think?
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. Okay, now, observe your family, Koi. Okay, what do you think would be the traditional skills and knowledge that your family members before, okay, before? So maybe your grandfather told you about that, or your grandmother told you about that. What they're doing during long time ago.
Hmm. Long time ago.
Yeah.
I don't. I think don't know about it. I
Oh,
never know
so
about it.
they're not telling a story about that.
Yes, maybe.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now, that means you need to research about this one, Koi. Okay? Okay, I want you to research more on the traditional skills and knowledge of the people before. Okay? And people within the group of your family. Okay, because it's a family group or a family affair that they should have to attend to. It's very important, right? Because whatever with the skills that is passed on to from the children, it will also pass on to the next generation. Okay, until today. So that is the so-called traditional skills that until today, you are still having that. Okay? Okay, so that would be your assignment. So we're going to answer this one on the next meeting. Can we do that?
Wait, can you say again?
Okay. Okay, that this one is question number one would be your assignment or homework. Okay, I want you to research about
Yes.
traditional skills and knowledge. And then we have to answer this one on the next meeting.
Okay. That's good.
Is it okay? Okay. Of
Okay.
course, question number two would be a follow-up question for question number one, right? Do you think it's important to preserve traditional skills and knowledge? Why and why not? See? So questions one and two has connections. Question number two is a follow-up question for question number one, right? So if you were able to mention already traditional skills and knowledge, then question number two, is it important to preserve? Why or why not? Okay?
I get
Okay,
it.
maybe you can choose only, Koi, you can choose only two and then expound a little bit about that. Okay, and then after that, you have to say if it is important to preserve those traditional skills and knowledge that you had learned, and then tell if it is why or why not. Okay? Okay, so this one would be your homework. So I want you to do this one. Okay, Koi?
Okay.
Okay, so I will be sending this one after our class as your homework. Okay? So that we
Okay.
can proceed. Okay, let's move on. Now, this time, let's study vocabulary. So choose the best option. Is it A or B for each word and phrase from 1 to 6? Okay?
Okay.
Number 1. A. Can you read this one, Koi?
Is people who live on islands.
B.
People who travel by sea.
Okay. So what do you think would be the best option?
Um, one B. Okay.
Okay, number 1 is letter B. And what is the correct answer?
And seafarers
Okay, seafarers.
are seafarers.
Yes, seafarers. Okay, farers. So seafarers. Okay,
Yes, seafarers.
farers. Okay. So people, seafarers are people who travel by sea. Okay? Okay,
Okay.
next. Number 2.
To a certain about your ability to do things well,
So
and
that would be
that could be confident.
so certain about your ability to do things well, that would be confident, right? So that's correct. Do not say worried about your ability to do something, so it's not that one. Because when you are confident, you are certain about your ability. Okay, next. Number 3.
Three, diagram, charge.
Okay, diagrams is also. Charts. That's correct. Next, number 4.
Small areas of waters
What is that?
is pools.
Okay, a small areas of water, that would be pool or pools. Okay? Next, number 5.
Arranged in a pattern is laid
So
out.
arrange in a pattern. So that would be laid out.
8.
Next, number 6.
Look like or let it be a sign or symbol for something. It represent.
Represent. So when you say represent, that
Represent
means be a sign or symbol for something.
something.
Okay.
Yes.
Now let's try to go back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So seafarers are what we called,
Are people who travel by sea.
okay, confident.
Certain about your ability to do things well.
Yes. Okay. So when you say confident, you are very confident. You are very certain. Okay. Then when you say charts, that would be
Diagrams.
diagrams. That's correct. When you say pool or pools, that would be,
A small area of water.
okay, small areas of water. And then laid off, that would be,
Lay down. It's not lay off.
hello, Khoi?
What?
Okay. When you say laid off,
It's arranged in a pattern.
okay, arrange in pattern. And lastly, represent means,
Represent mean be a sign or symbol for something.
so be a sign or symbol for something. Do you have questions with this?
No question.
No question. So let's try to move on. Now discuss what the words and phrases in italics mean. Okay? So again, so what we are going to understand in here, phrases or words that is written in
Italics mean.
italics. Okay, italics. Okay? Okay, number 1. Can you read the statement?
Cyclists tend to have more accidents than motorists.
Okay, so cyclists tend to have more accidents than motorists. So what do you mean by cyclists?
Cyclists, the people who ride the bike or motorbike.
Yes, okay. Ride a cycle, okay, a cycle bike, right? So that means cyclist. While
Where motorists there is
motorists,
are the people who's ride a motorbike.
yes, driving a motor, okay, a motorbike. So they are called motorists, okay? But of course, cyclists and motorists can be considered also have similarities because cycle bike have two wheels, while motor have also two
Wheels.
wheels. Okay, so that means this must be we can call this one a cyclist, but of course cycle and motor have similarities because they have two wheels. But we are asking about cyclist, meaning not the not the thing, but it's the people. So cyclist and motorist. Okay. Next,
Okay.
number 2.
Studies show that open, extrovert people are more likable than quiet, reserved types.
Yes. So what do you think would be the words or phrases in italics?
Interest, likable,
Okay, likable and
likable.
yes,
That's all.
likable and
And that's all.
okay. So we have, do we have
In,
one only?
yes, in number two we have one only.
Okay, it's likable. Okay, so when you say likable, what does it mean?
Um, it's the adjective of the word like.
Okay, so likable, that means a people who are what?
Who
Who
are
can
being
communicate well with others. So these persons are likable because they can make friends. Okay,
Yes.
that's why a lot of people like that particular person because that person is likable rather than those who are quiet and reserved. Because when you say quiet and reserved, those are introvert people. Okay, so likable can also be called as introvert people. Quiet and reserved can also be called as
Intro.
introvert people. So when you say intro, that means within. Extro, that means outside.
Yes.
Okay? Okay, next.
Moreover, like
Liquefying.
liquefying gas made it safer and easier to transport.
Okay, so what is or words that and phrases that are written in italics?
Liquefying
Okay, liquefying. So when you say liquefying, what does it mean?
is liquid.
Hmm? Okay,
Uh,
like for example,
Liquefying is mean the thing that's in liquid forms.
okay, and of course we have to say the LPG, right? The meaning of the LPG is liquefied petroleum gas. So LPG, that means we use the liquefied petroleum gas because it's more safer and easier to transport, right?
Yes.
Okay, so liquefying means, of course, it's a combination of a gas and a liquefied gas. Okay,
Okay.
okay. Next, number four.
The islands were undoubtedly visited by prehistoric voyagers.
Okay, so do we have how many words or phrases written in italics in here?
There are two Italians, undoubtedly, and prehistoric voyagers.
Yes. So when we say undoubtedly, what do you think would be undoubtedly?
It means no doubt.
Yes, so no doubt, okay? That is undoubtedly. And then when you say prehistoric voyagers,
The people who are on the way of traveling the sea with the task of discover historic truths.
okay, before. Okay, that means prehistoric voyagers. Before, when you say prehistoric, that would be before
Agree.
history,
Yeah.
okay? So before history, so these are the travelers, okay, voyagers, okay, that use oceans or seas in traveling before history. So prehistoric voyagers. Okay, next, number five.
In ancient times, the river was navigable for nearly 1,000 miles.
Okay, so in ancient times, the river was navigable for nearly 1,000 miles.
Navigable in italics.
Yes. And what do we mean when we say navigable?
Direction, we are
Okay, that
five
means,
we are
yeah,
five that direction.
yeah, actually, okay. Um, sea direction, okay, or ocean direction. So it can be navigable, okay? Next, number six.
The film Titanic has been remade several times.
Okay, so the film Titanic has been remade several times. Have you seen Titanic? Have you seen the movie Titanic? Not yet.
Yeah, I know it. It's well
Ah,
known.
you've seen it. Okay. So has been remade several times. So what is the italics or what
Uh,
are the italic words?
remade in
Okay. So we
Italy.
have only
One.
one.
Italy.
So that is remade. So when you say remade, what does
It's,
it mean?
it means it's made twice time.
Okay, or made again. Okay, so
Okay.
remade means made again several times. So that is remade. Next.
Informants in different countries had helped to simplify the process.
Okay, simplify.
Simplify
Okay,
process.
informants.
Informants.
Okay, so what are the italics?
Informant and simplify.
Okay, informants and simplify. So when you say informants, what does it mean?
Informant, people who are provide information.
Yes. Okay. So people, okay, those people who are giving informations are informants. What about simplify?
We when if we are simplify on something, we make it less complex.
Yes. So it will be more easier. So you are going to think of something that it's not difficult. It's the most easier one to understand. So that is simplify. Okay. Next, what about number 8?
Roads are often impassable in winter due to snow.
Yes. So the word or words phrases in italics would be
Impassable.
okay. So impossible. So when you say impossible, what does it mean?
Impassable.
Mm, okay, passable means
Yeah, it's will cover by something.
okay,
Some of
impossible that means not passable, meaning you cannot drive because it's impossible. Okay, from the word pass, that
passable.
means
Was
you
part.
can okay, you can pass in
Yes.
that particular highway maybe or way. But due to because of winter, due to snow, the road, okay, the roads are impassable. That means you cannot pass in that road because of the snow. So that would be impassable.
Wow, wow.
Okay? Okay. So do you have questions with this, Koi?
No question.
Okay, let's move on. Okay, now, again, we are on the writing part now. Okay, so this one is task number 2. So what would be the instruction in here? Can you read this one, Koi?
Look at these rising stars and decide whether the statement below are true or false.
Yes. So look at the writing tasks and decide whether the statements below are true or false. But before we are going to do that one, let's try to understand exam information. Okay, can you read this one?
In writing task 2, you run essay discussing a topic and giving your opinions. You have about 12 or 14 minutes for the task.
Yes. Now, you need to do that for about 40 minutes for this task. Okay? Now, we have to remember also,
Write
right?
about the following topic.
Okay.
In many parts of the world, families were
Larger.
larger in the park because people had more children.
Okay.
Do you think there were more advantages or disadvantages to be in park of large families in the park?
And then,
Give reason for your answer and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge and experience.
and
Try at least 2050 words.
okay, 250 only, not 2000, okay? So if if you are going to write 2050, that's going to be too long, okay? So you cannot do that one within 40 minutes. So it's just only 250, okay?
Okay.
Okay, now I want you to remember this one, Koi. This one is writing tasks. That means you are going to do an essay. And remember, in this essay, you must,
Write about the park and
yes, You must write about the past
and discuss with the families who are largest in the past. Compare family today with family in the past.
in the
Write
past. Write about
the advantage and disadvantage of having a lot of people in the family.
and
Your opinion explain why.
yes. Okay. So it's all the same with this one. In writing a topic, Khoi, you have to remember, okay? Write about the past. That means it's already in the past because you cannot write about the future. Not unless you are told to write about your dream, maybe in the future. Okay? Because you cannot tell what would happen in the future. Okay?
Okay.
Now, in this particular writing task, you need to write about the past. And after that, after thinking, oh, I have to think of the past very quickly, Corey. Okay, put that one in your mind. And then after that, you have to remember to discuss whether families were
What
larger in
actions
the
and
past. Okay, again, there are only two kinds of families that we have. We have a big family and we have a small family. So when we say big family, composed of mother, father, brothers,
sister?
sisters, or we can also say
Grand
grandmother, grandfather. So if it is composed maybe of, okay, 4 to 6, okay, within the family or more than that, that would be a big family. But if you're talking only of three, less than three, maybe three, two, or one, that would be a small family. Did you understand, Koi? So
understand.
discuss whether the families were larger in the past. Okay, now you have to remember this one, whether families were larger in the past. So what are you going to do with that? You are going to think of your family, ladder maybe. Okay? Your roots. Okay, from your grandfather's family up to your father's family. You have to think of that, whether they're big or whether they're small. And then after that,
Compare
compare your
family
families
today with family in the past.
today with the families in the past. So how are you going to do that? So you have to compare. Let's say, for example, okay, my families today, okay, composed of a big family because, okay, um, my father, my mother, okay, because I have father, mother, sisters, brothers, including our grandmother and grandfathers. Okay?
Okay.
So you were able to compare your families. Okay? And then you can also say, in the past, we do have only small family. But today, we have a big family. Okay? Because I have father, I have a mother, I have a sisters, I have brothers, and I have with us our grandmother and grandfather. Okay? Koi? Next. Number 4.
Write about the advantage and disadvantage of having a lot of people in the family.
Okay. Now remember, what things are we going to remember in here? So write about
Advantage
advantages
and
and write
disadvantage.
about disadvantages of having a lot of people or maybe a big family. So what are the advantages of having a big family? Okay? If you have a big family, if you have a small family, you have to mention what are the advantages. If you have a big family, okay, tell me the disadvantages of that. If you have a small family, tell me what are the disadvantages of that. Okay, so that means you need to discuss two things in here, advantages and
Disadvantage.
disadvantages. Okay? Next, and give your,
Opinions and explain why.
yes, so give your opinion and explain why. Okay? And write that for only 250 words or more. That means it should be 250 but not less than 250 in an essay form. Okay?
Okay.
Again, in writing an essay, you have to remember there would be a what? Introduction. Okay, the introduction can just only be in one paragraph, composed of the most would be 5 sentences. And uh, in your introduction, you have to mention the thesis title. Okay?
Okay.
That means the most important keywords, it should be mentioned in the introduction part, but do not explain on the introduction part. So where you're going to explain that, that would be on the next paragraph. That is on the body part. In body part, it could be paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3, or paragraph 4. It depends on how long you are going to do that. Like, for example, like this. So you are going to do a lot of things in here, right? So that's why, okay, first paragraph of the body, write about the past. Second paragraph of the body, discuss whether families were larger in the past. Second paragraph of the third paragraph of the body, compare families today with families in the past. The fourth paragraph, write about advantages and disadvantages. And then the fifth paragraph, give your own opinion and explain why. So that would be the ending part, or we call that one as the conclusion. Did you understand? So again,
Yeah.
introduction, body, in the body, it depends on how many paragraphs. In every paragraphs, the most would be 5 sentences in every paragraphs.
Okay.
Okay? So in the body parts, so we have the first paragraph, second paragraph, third, because in the body part, you need to explain everything. But make sure in explaining everything in the body paragraph, it should be in order. Do not mention about the past in the uh, if you are mentioning the past in the first paragraph of the body, so mention about the past. Do not include advantages and disadvantages, right? Because
Okay.
if you're going to include in here, that's not the correct procedure in making an essay. Okay, so it should be mentioned first about the past, and then once you already mentioned about the past, second paragraph, you have to discuss your families, whether it's large or small. And then once you already mentioned that, move to another paragraph, compare your families today than before. So that would also be another paragraph. So once you already done that, move to the next paragraph. Write about advantages and disadvantages. Once you've done that, okay, close your essay. So that would be the ending part. So in your ending part, give your opinion and explain why. So that ends your essay.
Okay.
You
Yes.
understand?
Understand. Understood.
Okay.
Wow.
So part of your or your homework would be this one also. So you are going to do two things, right?
Yes.
Okay, Koi, because we cannot do this one at this point in time because it's already 3 minutes more before we have to say goodbye. Okay? So again, this one would be your second homework. Oh, you have a lot of things to do. Could it be okay?
Yes, I think I'll spend the entire morning tomorrow to do this homework.
Okay. So I'm sorry because I
Uh,
know you have to do this one, huh? Remember, this one is a real IELTS exam information. Now look
yes,
at this one, huh? You are just given only 40 minutes for this task.
yes.
Okay? And not just only 40 minutes, but you need to do at least 250 words or more. Now, what are you going to do? Are you going to count the words? Need. So you just have to what? To estimate. Okay? You just have to estimate, oh, it's more than 250 words. This one is enough. Oh, this one is shorter than 250. I need more. Okay? So you
Okay,
have to use your what you're feeling. Okay? Okay, in doing that one Khoi. Did you
yeah,
understand?
understand.
Okay. So again, this would be your other homework. Okay, on the next meeting, another one. So we need to do this one again. Okay, but I will not going to include this one as your homework. So we need
Yes.
to answer this one. Okay, read this one. Read the sample answer in the next column. It's here. Oh,
Oh,
this
wow.
one is
Yeah.
already an essay, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to discuss this one next meeting, okay? And this one is what advantages and disadvantages does the writer mention? Okay, the writer mentioned. So you are going to be a writer, Koi. And then
What?
after that, we're going to mention out from your work, we're going to mention the advantages and disadvantages. Okay, and then do you agree with the writer? Because you are going to do writing, right? You're going to do an essay. Okay, then out
Okay.
from your essay, we're going to answer these questions. Okay.
Again.
Okay, so if you don't have any more question, thank you so much for your time, Koi. We'll see you again on the next meeting. Okay, I'm going to send your homework after my last class. Okay, because I do have next class. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Okay. Okay. So bye for now, Koi. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you for your time and
Bye. God bless.
goodbye.
God bless. Bye-bye.
Yes. Have a good night.